I spent 8 hours ranking every dungeon in A Realm Reborn. It was cursed. Reflecting on my journey from WoW to Final Fantasy XIV and taking key elements into consideration to forge the worst dungeon tier list of all time. Now this is a highly subjective tier list and we've probably had different experiences with these dungeons. I've not run them 1,000 times. So please share your thoughts and stories in the comments with your own tier lists and strap yourselves in for a trip down memory lane. We've got an S tier, A tier, B tier, C, and D. D might be extra. We'll see if we need it or not. And I'm also probably going to have to make a few special tiers alone for exceptions, whether they be good or bad. I'm going to try and be fair about the themes, the design and layout of the dungeons, the bosses, the encounters, the story, but most of all, of course, as well, it's going to be down to how I felt about it through my journey and how much fun I did or didn't have. The first dungeon is Sestasha. The very first dungeon you encounter, you've got like 3, maybe 4 buttons at most that you're actually going to press. You're rocking the tin can armor. I think that like the actual dungeon itself is it's a pretty cool first dungeon. With the Dawn Trail engine updates, like the lighting and the shaders, it looks a bit better. But like as a very first dungeon, you can't be expecting all the bells and whistles straight out the gate, right? You need to activate the coral trigger, sorry. Which I have to admit, I just listened to whoever was telling me what to do in chat. I didn't even figure out how you were supposed to do it. Kill the clams. I remember the clams had like an AoE area around them. You gotta respect it because it is the very first dungeon in the game. And something that everyone would experience. So you click on the blue coral formation. That summons the boss. So here's the first boss. It has an AoE, run away. I think that's pretty much everything it does. Run through. Now you're fighting more pirates. Yeah, I do remember this. And you need to kill the guy for the key, right? I mean, it has you doing a lot of interactive stuff. You have to find a hidden switch. You have to do the thing, get the key. It's not like just run through and GG. And then I think we're approaching the last boss. Yeah, here. Then the Orca-toothed takes care of that guy. Again, I don't know what the ripples were about. I click it though, right? There is nothing out of the ordinary. It's literally called an unnatural ripple though. If you don't click it, mobs spawn. Ah, okay. So when they start to bubble, you got to click. Oh yeah, I see they're sprouting up a little bit. I mean, it's quite an interactive first dungeon, all things considered. Look at the helmet. Oh no. Look at this glam. Oh dear. Perfection. Sestasha, first dungeon of the game. I think it's perfectly serviceable. There's nothing stand out about it, but there's nothing terrible about it. It does what it needs to do for a first dungeon in the game. It teaches you a few things. It has you do some like environmental mechanics in terms of getting keys or unlocking a switch for a door or whatever. I think it's pretty decent. I'm going to put that in a solid B. Next up is the Tam Tara Deepcroft. So this like takes you in such a darker tone compared to what you were just in. Oh, actually, am I doing this with... I'm doing this with the NPC companions. I don't have any friends at this point. No friends. GG, well played. Probably takes me about half an hour, 40 minutes to do this then. The aesthetic and everything in here is a lot darker and a more cool atmosphere in terms of like... Oh, okay, so it's not all rainbows and sunshine in Final Fantasy XIV. Not that the previous dungeon didn't have like a bad things happening. Thematically, it's pretty nasty too, lore-wise and whatnot. Fighting beetles, not really that fun. They're cultists and they're doing an orb. I mean, the orb actually going into the center of the room and stuff is pretty cool. So some of these are cultists, some of these are void creatures, some of them are beetles, and some are kind of like zombies. That's a good point as well. Like having to mess with the orbs in the order. It's kind of Indiana Jones-y. And again, it's an environmental puzzle. You can't just run and kill the boss and go next and go next. Let me go back. So then you destroy the orb and you go run round to the next one. And then you got to kill another void soul counter. So a little more enemy variety comes in. But again, it's pretty much more of the same. Skip through. Can't do that barrier yet because you need the rosary from going down here, right? To kill these, get the rosary. Bring the barrier down. destroy these 2 orbs after you've taken care of these waves. Now, because the orbs are protected by this void soul counter, you have to do 3 of them. That's pretty lazy. There's no variation. And then once you've done this, the pathway is opened, and whatever was being held prisoner in that orb, Galvanth the Dominator, Squidward, and if I remember rightly, he summons ads and stuff and goes immune. And I think it's the first time you come across immune as a thing in early dungeons. There is an interrupt that you can do as well. And then he does this. He's invulnerable. You go and kill the beam and rinse and repeat. Then he summons ads. You got to take care of the ads and destroy the linked thing. So like, it's got some stuff to it. It's a really interesting fight, but it's like all the mechanics that could have been in maybe one other boss are all tied to this guy. Whereas to me, this is just one boss. The dungeon is actually one boss. Those 3 mini bosses back to back are kind of, which are like the soul counters, they're kind of lame. It's interesting. It has great theming and it teaches you stuff, but it's also really cheap by only, in my opinion, being only one boss. I'm going to put Tamtara in C for now. I might change my mind and bring it back up to Sastasha. If I had it on the same as Sass, it doesn't feel like it's the same. Sass had enough encounter variance to it. So Copperbell Mines. So you're going in to take care of like some unruly monsters. Oh yeah, you take an elevator down. I feel like I've done the Copperbell Mines quite a few times. But what's strange is how utterly forgettable it is. I know that I've done this at least 6 times. So you're fighting bunny rabbits and giants. And very strange crystal creatures. This is a dungeon that had an overhaul. So even after the rework, it is forgettable. Wow, I can see I'm getting told to pull more. So this is the first boss, because all of the other stuff is like environmental so far. This guy here, he has a charge, and he has actually a tank. Something that a tank needs to respond to. So the rework made it forgettable. It used to be cursed. The new players couldn't do it, and everyone was stuck for 10 minutes at a mini boss. This is an interesting fight and engaging. It has things that you need to react to. So then you open the door with a key, you go down lifts again, then you kill stuff to get fire sand. Oh, the blob monster. Trying to remember the mechanics off the top of my head, but I can't. He just has an avoid, and then these that explode, right? Okay. And then that's pretty much the fight. That guy done. Blow up the wall. Then you come through to here. I actually really dislike this room. I'm getting memories. It was only on like I don't know, maybe my 4th run that I realized you can do a bit of like a skip. Yeah, the slime boss is pretty dull. And then once we get through here, slaves no more, free, and then this will be the giant who's no longer a slave. And he's huge. Well, what's my guy's? Alright, so he teaches you a new mechanic. The dungeon so far has been actually good at teaching some more new stuff. Okay. I think considering the mechanics that are at play here, everyone's got stuff to do. Sure, we had one tank buster earlier, but the rest of them are things that... Oh, there's another one. They are things that you have to react to. Otherwise, you're going to take damage, then you'll learn. I'm not sure if it's just the fact that... Oh, look at the green tin. I'm not sure if it's just the fact that you have to do the lifts. I find the lifts to be frustrating, but it's really not that bad. Like, you're on autopilot, you can have a drink while you do it. I don't know. I think it's B. It can't be the same as Tamtara, because Tamtara has 3 reused mini bosses that don't teach you shit, really. Whereas Copperbell is nowhere near as lazy and teaches you new stuff. I might have to rethink, because as I go on and I actually encounter the better dungeons, I can't be putting them in the same place as Sastasha and Copperbell Mines. I think maybe everything goes down a tier. I'll wait and we'll carry on and we see how things play out. Copperbell Mines done and dusted. Next up, Halatali. I think everything else that is in here now, they're all from VODs. Let's get YouTube in on this. All right, cool. Now I'm reacting to my own content. This is the new meta. Halatali. We don't really need to see the VOD that much because We actually just went and did this in-game because I was worried that I couldn't find it. But at least we have satisfied the fact that I actually did do it on stream. It's all good. In terms of like the layout of the dungeon and everything like that, I think it's environmentally quite cool. It has some good vibes to it. The fact that it used to be a place of worship for the first Lalafell that came along to Eorzea and then got repurposed into like the gladiators area or whatnot, then all of the things that were kept locked up there got forgotten about because the gladiator area like just didn't seem to get used or whatever it was. This is a very rough lore very rough lore recount here. The music is cool, the environment is cool, there's a good variety of monsters in here too, pretty much for the exact reason that I've just said. Like all of the monsters that were used to be fought against in the gladiator side of things, they all got left here, and there's loads of variants, so that's interesting. This boss, you've got to deal with the ads, otherwise they reach him and explode and do damage, which we haven't had that mechanic yet so far. I already kind of think I know where this is going to fall. My only problem with this dungeon actually is it's a 3-boss dungeon, right? You do the fire guy, this electric lizard who basically has you run out, and range DPS can't even do anything there because he's invulnerable, so you just kill these and then you run back in. Skip ahead. It's very tedious to watch that boss. More like trash mobs, which are all the same. Oh yeah, and then you fight the big guy who comes in, right? So his mechanics, he's invulnerable now, and you have to kill the ads, which you've already been taught earlier in the dungeon. Have you done it twice? Every boss has that? The first boss isn't immune when you do it though, right? It's got great music. The environment is cool. There is enough trash mob variants. Okay, so I've decided to leave Halatali in B. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as Tamtara. It does a good job of having variants, good theming, like environment and stuff. It's got a little bit of good lore behind it too. And of course, we do be returning here in the future. But the first boss and second boss each teach you a combination of what the third boss is like, so there's that. But it's clear to me that eventually I'm going to have to go and see what these dungeons were like before reworks, because apparently not only is Copper Bell terrible, but what we're about to check out now with the 1,000 Moors of Totorak, that was even worse. So double speed, 1,000 Moors, Totorak, let's go. Okay. Yep, I do remember this one for sure. The stuff on the wall that I thought you had to click, you ended up not even needing to interact with at all. So that was pain and suffering. This beginning bit did remind me of previous dungeons we'd already done, kind of thing. Now, the fact that you had to destroy cobwebs and stuff, as someone who doesn't like spiders, it gave me that veritable sense of impending doom. More trash to get through. And then I think you get straight into a boss after this one. Then boom, straight into a boss. Remember this? Okay. So what does this trash teach us? This trash boss. Nothing. There was no mechanics for that whatsoever. Alright, so now we're onto some variants in mobs. We've got some actually pretty cool looking sludge monsters. And I mean, I've been teased about the cobwebs being a thing. So I'm scared still for spiders to arrive, but it's all just really vicious vegetation, not vegetables. Vicious vegetation. I can't even say it. These mites are now the beginnings, and there's eggs present too. So there's some spooders involved. The same encounter as the first boss. At least, I don't know if mechanically it's the same, but it's the exact same. Oh wow, it is mechanically the exact same too. So there's no mechanics. Okay, so far nothing really that interesting. There is a slight change. What's the change? What's the change between the first and second bosses? Oh, there are ads in the second boss. Okay, burn down some more trash, get through some cobwebs. Prison pudding. I would give it more props just based on the actual model for those mobs in particular. I think is really good. The dungeon has progressed to more and more being infested with the cobwebs and the ticks and the nasty spiders. There is that feeling of, right, we are descending into spooder time. After taking care of some more trash, some more cobwebs, you will arrive at the final boss chamber, which is actually a really cool theming. Oh wow, look at that armor. Whoa, there's an Ascian in here. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, Lana Bread. Nice. Okay. So Lana Bread drops some lore here. That's tricky. The whole journey here has been pretty damn easy. The last boss here is actually where mechanics come into play. You do have 2 ads to contend with, an area of effect that isn't telegraphed on the floor, a charge move. Oh no, there is an aerial attack that's telegraphed. Maybe not that poison on the floor though. I appreciate that it's not a spider. Like, it's not actually a legit spider. It's some kind of weird variation. But the fact that Lana Bread is in there makes me want to put the dungeon higher than I probably would have, to be honest. I think Thousand Moors has got to be B as well. It only has one real actual boss encounter that has any mechanics to it. You do feel like you're descending into the layer of what you end up fighting in the end. And whilst the journey there is boring, you do have Lana Bread in there. And that's got to count for something. But how does it match up? I can't keep putting everything... Well, I guess I can keep putting everything B because it is my tier list, but I feel like there needs to be some more nuance. There's still lots more to do, and we'll continue. Next up is Hokey Manor. I slightly remember the lore and the quest leading you in there. That intro is interesting for the first time as well, because I could see my face there. I think I actually was legit like, hold on a minute. Let's get that up. Bukake Manor calls us home. What is wrong with me? Okay, so Bukake Manor calls us home. Let's see. Now he's just going to be RPing in Bukake Manor. He could put me in a dungeon. Yeah, so that just shit me up a bit. Didn't expect the noise. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Knowing the lore situation behind this, in terms of the reasons why we get sent in, I'm probably kind of gonna butcher it with my very bad quick reminiscing, but I am at least 60% confident that this was the home of an Elysian family who were like pre-high society, and they had the manor, and then the lady who ran it, did her husband die or something like that? And then the guy who's her butler or servant, he's trying to take care of her, but she keeps getting worse and worse and talking to herself, and things aren't good. So then he goes out to try and find help, but then like she's pretty much summoning baddies, and she's getting more possessed or evil or whatever. Something like that. But the music itself is absolutely banging. I really like the theme of the dungeon, the layout, the design, everything like that. I think it's pretty good. There's not really a lot of variance in the monsters that you fight. Wait, let me go back. Where's that carpet stain? There's carpet stains though. I mean, is that not just fucking S tier if you ever heard it? You fight carpet stains? Oh, that's it. She got disfigured and got even more crazy in attempts to restore her beauty, and then ended up like pretty much voiding her house. You do have to collect keys, which is frustrating. I suppose like I didn't have a really bad time with the key situation though, because I was running with Coco here. We've got a runaway mechanic for the first one. I think that may be the only thing that this one does. Oh, and an area one. A targeted area one. That's not so bad. We go further in and things get a little worse. The manor has a dungeon in it. We had to kill the jester first? Because the steward... Was the steward immune? But like, that's quite cool. Not actually encountered like proper, legit 100% skeleton with a shield and the sword up until this point. We get on to double speed. Right, and then you fight her after finding the keys and the bloody parchment. I remember there actually being mechanics for this one that got me killed. So that's like a blind. I think you just turn away, right? And then her handmaiden is summoned. She does AoE. Maybe I didn't die on this one. Oh, and then she does a slow and that thing. So that the pairing of those two mechanics with the blind and the slow being pulled in. And she's got a tank buster. I'm pretty sure when I try and do this later on hard mode, mind blind, I die to that wombo combo. So overall, I actually feel like I really like Palkay Manor. I got a lot of time for it. I think it's just the theme really carries it. The music's really good. The story is pretty messed up and sad. The actual building from the outside is cool to behold, and going through just feels really, really sick. I'm gonna leave it at A for now. Gonna continue getting more on the board, and then I'll maybe reorder and reshuffle them as we go. I just really think like the vibe of the manor is executed pretty well. It felt like somewhere that we actually did have to go in and take care of some stuff because things were not okay. And if we leave it alone, a problem will arise, you know? So next up is Brayflox's Long Stop. Brayflox as a character was quite funny to interact with. It was the first time that I'd actually spoken to the, whatever the race is for Brayflox. I can't remember the name. They speak really funny. Gobby. They're really, really funny. And he's like, go in there and take care of my problems. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And then you go in and it looks like nothing else that you've encountered in the dungeons so far, which is cool. Like the dungeon design itself and the way it looks, the greenery basically, and like how light it is also well timed and paced considering that you've been pretty much doing like up until this point. If we look in the tier list quickly, oh, this is a boss actually. Let me pay attention. So boss has some ads, the cone move. That boss is kind of a bit lame, but it's okay. It's okay. If we look at the tier list of where we've been so far, everything has been dark. The opposite of what Brayflox's Long Stop is. Where's the variation in mobs though? Pretty much a lot of like flying mosquitoes, lizard peeps, bugs. This Inferno Drake summons an ad, right? Yeah, there's the ad that chases someone around, Brayflox himself, which is quite interesting. It's a funny moment. Then the Drake tries to focus on Brayflox, and I assume healers have got to heal him, which is actually something I've only just realized. Can anyone confirm if you're a healer in here, do you have to heal Brayflox in that fight? You fight giant tadpoles? No, you don't have to heal. Oh, it's a her. Oh, my bad. So you don't even heal Brayflox. It just looks like it. Whilst to me, I'm like, all right, cool. There is some variance in the trash, but like asset-wise, not much. But their moves are different. You're seeing a little bit of like avoidable areas, which I appreciate. But also, we just went very quickly from one boss to another. I know I'm watching double speed, but like that is such better pacing than what we've been dealing with so far. And after doing like the keys and stuff in the manor beforehand, and now doing this, kind of appreciate the wham bam sort of speed and pace of it. And then just when you think that this boss was done, the last boss comes and finishes it off. That's actually quite cool. Okay, so Brayflox actually can be healed. Thank you. Then you come through, and I just don't even understand the geography of the dungeon. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. It's like the dungeon it takes you through a good variance of biomes. And then you actually fight a dragon. This is your first dragon that you fight in the game, really. This is legit actually a dragon. And that's cool. As for why the dragon's here and stuff, I cannot remember. But the fact that you are fighting a dragon adds points to me. It's got a tank buster. Telegraphed poison to avoid. Oh, these eggs, they explode. Yeah, they explode. Then you've got a charge. This is a good fight. Some of them are staggered. That's good. So there's even progress within the difficulty of the phases there. Duty complete, baby. Okay. Brayflox's Long Stop. I think it's got to be A tier. It's got to be A tier. It has good pacing. It's like the most well-lit and green dungeon that we've experienced. The only one, because it's like outside. So it's completely different to everything else that we've been dealing. Everywhere else, we've been going like inside things in terms of like buildings or crypts, dungeons, etc. or whatever. Whereas this is like, oh, it's a little bit more open. It's quite cool. And it has our first actual dragon fight. And Brayflox talks hilarious. So we roll with it. The next up is the Sunken Temple of Khan. Oh, okay. So I remember the Sunken Temple of Khan. It'll be hard for me to remember which version I'm I prefer most. I think it's probably the hard anyway. Redzy's favorite mechanics in the game, pressure plates and fucking doom. So we're fighting actual skeletons again, which is cool. Bats, whatever, fine. The lore for why the zombies are in here is cool though, right? Can someone remind me of like the actual sick, really good lore? I've forgotten a bit. I swear the hard mode reminds or explains it better. Yes, zombie powder. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, the zombie powder is hugely important. At this point in the game, though, you don't know about it, right? And it's not discussed. So that's reserved for the hard mode. I'm going to reserve that nugget of information and the feeling about that for the hard mode. That, for me, is pretty up there. This is also another time where we're going through a dungeon, but this nails theming. Like, I do feel like this is pretty Indiana Jonesy. We're going into somewhere that used to be really ancient and powerful, and now it's not in the best condition anymore. This guy has a few mechanics. The pressure plate, that fight was okay. If I didn't have Phoenix telling me in chat when I was doing it about the pressure plates, I would have fucked up. Deathclaw, this guy, and again, you got to kill it on the pressure plate. This is where you would have like a side exploration bit where you can go and do a little bit more of the puzzle, and you can see a bit more of the dungeon. I think you also get like an extra treasure chest, right? Yeah, the trash is kind of so-so. It's cool, but it's also not. This is interesting. It's one boss that actually has two parts. It's the first time that we'd have encountered something like this as well. Smash the soul stone, and then the guardian is weak. Then you can burn him down, and then I guess the soul stone comes back. We got to do it one last time. As a long-time MMO player, pretty boring, but in terms of like your experience through ARR for the first time and the dungeons and what you've encountered, that's, regardless of it being like a reskinned invulnerable mechanic, it's still different and new. If you didn't have a tank doing these types of pulls, it would feel so slow though, but still cool. It's a good example of environmental design that happens, but not a ton, but does happen in ARR, where you can see the path that you took to get to where you are, and how you could also see this part from where you were before, but you didn't know it was there, to look for it, sort of thing. That's quite cool. All right, this is cool. And again, this is very Indiana Jones, or like the Mummy. We're in a sunken temple, and now a literal statue has come to life to fight us off. Combines the pressure plate thing. The laser beams are cool as well. And they're kind of like mirrors, I guess. It's very cool. And it's the first time that you've had such, I think, an overwhelming amount of stuff happening. The fact that it's the first time that... Look at me killing them. Oh. The fact that it's the first time that you see this kind of stuff too brings it up. Brings it up for sure. For me, I think Khan, Sunken Temple of Khan, has got to go A tier as well. I'm going to keep going until we finish 2.0 with Amdapur Keep and reassess where everything lives. Like, in terms of, do I want that to be like that? Do I need to add more tiers, etc.? Sunken Temple of Khan got to be A tier for me. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool thematically. Now, next up is Cutter's Cry. I'm not going to lie. Despite the fact that this dungeon has a Dune reference in it, I really don't like this dungeon. I think this dungeon sucks. So you go in, you fight bugs. Okay? Yeah, see, this is it. It has gauntlets to do the sand thing so that you can teleport through. And it's what, like, 2 of them are skippable, right? But then you have this too, yeah. So a gauntlet where you've got things that spawn around and then come in on you. After the first time you've done it, my God. Is that not so frustrating? Especially if you're not ranged and all you've got as a melee is that one ranged move. So two gauntlets so far. I'm dead. Wow. Look how bad. Look how bad. So now this is a boss, right? So you go in and fight the boss. They have a conal attack. They do a silence on your healer or caster in general. Summons adds. It's a pretty nothing fight. Okay, so here, from this point, you can skip, right? You can just run past this one. Kill more of the same monsters. It's interesting that you seem to have discovered an underground oasis environmental wise, pretty cool. And then here's where we get the Dune reference. It's just a big worm, and it will burrow and attack you. This is a cool fight. Fight the worm, dodge the thing, do the stuff. Yeah, you can tell I'm really struggling to find something nice to say about this dungeon. Okay, so now you're in a different, like, environmentally, you've gone on a real thing here. And now you've reached some golems, I suppose. That's cool. Took you a while to get there. Yeah, the pacing of the dungeon really does make this feel like a slog. I'm watching it on double speed, and we are doing fairly good pulls. Right, last boss. Again, environment sick. It's a chimera. Wicked design. Conal attack. Conal attack. Lightning. Okay, cool. It does a focus. I don't know. What do you think, Mando? Do you think this dungeon's any good? What are you thinking, boy? Do you want din-dins? I don't think Mando likes it. Commander, you want din-dins? Go on, Dan. Okay, it's din-dins time. Okay, so having all of that under consideration, I think at this point in the game, after what you've played and experienced, Cutter's Cry would be a D tier. Cutter's Cry would feel like a slog. It just feels lame. Just feels lame. I couldn't justify putting it on C and saving D for something worse. Like, we're almost done with 2.0 though, and at that point I'm gonna reassess things, and then we move through the patches. So after Cutter's Cry's Stone Vigil, so the Stone Vigil is aesthetically a very big change. It's the first snowy dungeon I would have encountered. It's actually a legit, like, fortress, or at least it used to be. Does have more dragons in it because it's in Kurthus, so Dravanians are about. And you know that, like, the dragons have moved in and invaded and taken over the place. Ishgard has abandoned it, I suppose you could say, yeah? And we've been sent in to try and take care of the dragons. Now, interestingly, there seems to be only 3 objectives in the dungeon on the top right for the duty information, but, like, the dungeon feels long. Longer than 3 sections to it. Yes, we had to get the Enterprise back, or we had to find the Enterprise. Is that a pretty important part of the story? And considering the importance of being introduced to Ishgard, the area, the Dravanian horde, and that kind of stuff for future, it's important. But at the time, you don't really know that. You just know you're in the area trying to curry favor for having Ishgard help you find the Enterprise, because they already know where it is, right? We just need to do something for them so that they will actually tell us. The dungeon design is very sick. The zone and tone is all good. We're fighting dragons. When there's long corridors like this, and it looks like that you can progress quickly, but you can't. You have to deal with whatever monsters are waiting to surprise attack and spring a trap sort of thing. Mostly things that we've encountered before, asset-wise. So like a very, 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 very crap mini Twintania. Has little storms to move, which, you know what, is sick. I gotta rate that highly. I'm getting good feels about this. Unique spell, mechanic, effects, music's good, the zone is cool, dragons. It's got vibes, it's got vibes. Okay, and there is the Enterprise. Oh, look at us, we're in our red... our red tin can suit. We're budget Iron Man, if I ever did see. For some reason, our leg gear doesn't actually go up to our crotch, so we're kind of just standing out with a very strong breeze. Oh, Lana Bread is in here too. We're here for the airship. Lana Bread's here. Was that also the Ishgardian capital in the background there? There. What's this? This is Ishgard, right? I mean, the texture work is questionable, but that's huge. And then Lana Bread empowers the dragon. Sid's like, shit the bed. The dragon's angry. Confound it all. And we fight the dragon, clearly. I mean, I remember hating this. Well, hating on it. But all things considered, it's a big empowered dragon at the end. There's loads of lore that's important here, right now, happening. This guy flies up in the sky and does, like, the floor moves and stuff. This is good. The floor moves get progressively more. There's, like, yeah, this one, and then you have to dodge the other ones, right? Yeah, I gotta respect it. I gotta respect it. all things considered, Stone Vigil has got to be an A tier dungeon. Could it be the first S tier dungeon? When I rejig things, it will belong in A. Something else has got to go to S, or maybe it belongs further deep into the A tier. But yeah, the music let it down for me. Next up is the Desamel Darkhold. Now, this is going to be very difficult for me because I ended up going through this dungeon way more than I have ever wanted to, way more than I should have, and in a painful way as well, where I will level up a job and do that off stream and not do any of the job quests because I want to do them live with you. I end up doing the leveling off stream, and that means that for a Dragoon, for example, I would run this dungeon without the ability to do any AoE damage because that's an ability that comes from doing your job quests, which I don't do unless I'm on stream. So I think the first time I did it, I probably liked the dungeon. This music, I just can't get, I can't. This makes me feel so ragey. I died there because I'm trash. I got disconnected because I'm trash. The mechanics that they have in there in terms of you've got to destroy these things, right? The blue swirly, I don't know, Magitech things, what are they? I can't even read the thing. But what even are they? What even are they? This, having to use the crystals to make it vulnerable, is cool. Whatever that stuff, like that little circular Magitech symbol rune, I don't know what it is. Just seems so out of place. I don't understand it. So hopefully someone can say in chat and I won't be so mean about this dungeon, but it just seems like such a weird, contrived, bullshitty thing. But I just don't understand what they are even doing there. Like, who put them there? Why are they there? What is this? There's a one-eyed bat flowing around. What are the teleport? Yeah, are they teleporters? Are they switches? Nah, man, it just seems like shit. This boss cool though. It's the only one that's ever had you actually like move it. You can only fight it in certain parts of the arena. So it's got that going for it, but I hate everything else so far about it. And the crystals are cool and pretty, but like I've seen aetheryte crystals plenty of times by this point. Like it's not the one. Oh, you know what? The trash is frustrating in here too. So those frogs can pull you in with their tongue. Then you got these crystals, right? That explode. They're in like you can't destroy the crystals. So you got to move the stuff out and away from the crystals. Oh, that's it. Those explode. More trash. I mean, yeah, like the dungeon is painful. The Magitech things are just technology that's been left behind. Yeah, it just seems like this dungeon is lame for me. This guy's a boss. He's got ads that you cannot target. So you just have to avoid the damage. I'm struggling to find something nice to say. Technically, these are reused assets as well from like bosses that we've seen. Okay, skip ahead. This was annoying. Yeah, you've got the Magitech transporter doohickey thingies that you need to all stack on. But it's also in the place where there's AoE targeted timed explosions. That's pretty lame. So the terminal is counting down. You'll all take some damage. A healer will have to do an AoE heal. Very lame. You have to do 2 of those. You go through. I don't like this dungeon. I don't like this dungeon. And then there's this monster, which is so cool. You have this awesome monster holding 2 huge fuck-off axes. It's a unique model, question mark, I think. It does cool attacks. It goes invulnerable and charges at one of the crystals to like summon power. It will blast you because like it wants to stop you from destroying those crystals, so that's good. Like that's cool. The end has a lot going for it, but to get there you have to go through basically I think this is my least favorite dungeon. It just feels like pain and suffering, you know? It's not the one. Really good last fight though. The whole thing just lets it down. I think, is it as bad as Cutter's Cry? Is it? I don't think it can be as bad as Cutter's Cry. Okay. Cutter's Cry has the annoying gauntlets and the sand teleporters. But then Darkhold has the annoying crystals and the teleporters. But it does have a better last fight. If anything, it would be like that. Darkhold is just about... Wait, which end would be more? Closer to the letter is worse or better? Or is it just here? Is it just C? Is it just C tier? Closer to the letter is generally better, yeah. Alright, we'll leave it like that for now. Because like I said, once I get to the end of A Realm Reborn's dungeons, I'm gonna rejig things. But the time that we've all been waiting for has arrived. Play that Aurum Vale music, baby. And there's a lot of piss pools everywhere. It's a lot of annoying trash. There's just an AoE, run through P, glowy yellow P. You got these big frogs. They are lame as hell. And in terms of whatever the wasps are doing, it's nothing. They're not doing anything. You get a reused asset from earlier dungeon. You get like the weird victory bell thing or Venusaur, whichever one you prefer. And in terms of mechanics, so this one has you eating the fruit, right? You want to eat the fruit to clear the stacks, and then that's applied. That's like another mechanic that you deal with the same thing later in the dungeon from like the final boss or whatever. So you just munch the fruit once you get to however many stacks you have. Run through, deal with more monsters that the big one has the AoE, the little ones do absolutely diddly. Not great. You can get the seedling minion though. Now we're fighting scorpions. The scorpions had a line move, but like, again, all of the smaller minions, all of the smaller monsters don't have any actual threat to them whatsoever. Coin counter. That's cool. Visually, that's a cool move. And we've not seen anything quite the same as that so far. Cool, we skip on. Do some more nasty trash. This room was a little bit frustrating because it looked like you could just go straight through, but you have to kill everything in this room. You have to kill the two things in the room. More P, more trash. And then the final boss. Very, very... very big vine man. Oh, it's actually a mistress. Miser's mistress? Nani? So more fruits. We're fighting amongst piss pools again. We have the fruit and the debuffs to take care of. There's a cone attack. I do not think anything else happens. Oh, there's fruit. Okay, AoE, cleave them down, crack on. I'm gonna try and strike a bargain with being kinder to Aurum Vale than I had initially planned. Overall, aesthetically, the dungeon is just yellow piss pools. But as Phoenix has literally just typed, it doesn't look quite the same as any of the other dungeons. The mob variety is pretty lame. The last boss feels like it's just not even a boss. Despite the fact that you have to do the debuff clearing thing. That was cool the first time earlier in the dungeon. I understand that teaching mechanics early and then having it repeated with other layering happening later in a dungeon is good for mechanical design and teaching players how to like deal with encounters. But that's not what happened at the end. It didn't feel like there was any extra layering of mechanics. It was just, oh, do the same thing you did before. With no extra twist, really. Is it as bad as the Desamel Darkhold and Tamtara Deepcroft? Is it as bad as Cutter's Cry? I think it's P tier. I think it gets its own tier. It's not quite as shit as Cutter's Cry, and I'd actually say it's not even really as bad as Tamtara or Desamel Darkhold, but it is the P dungeon, and it does deserve its own tier, I believe. I think it is P tier, but it's not quite as bad as Cutter's Cry. It couldn't be above these. It couldn't be above them. Okay, next up. All right, so Castrum is thematically pretty epic, considering what we've been building up to in the MSQ, where it is, what it is, the technology, the Garlean tech that's on show. The music sounds like you're doing some infiltration, you know, because you are kind of breaking into the enemies. You're taking the fight to the enemy. You're breaking in. But this approach like, to the boss is actually pretty lame when you think about it. What would have been cool is if these all ran towards you because the alarm's going off that intruders are there. To anyone who's played the Burning Crusade, World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade, what that gauntlet is like in Hellfire, Citadel, Ramparts, whatever it is. One of the Hellfire ones. So this is an actual boss. It summons 2 big adds, which is cool. And the fact that you're fighting basically a Maggie is pretty cool, but the ads don't really do too much. There is a non-telegraphed attack there, and this used to be an 8-man dungeon. And now we go through the disposal chute, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Like, we are breaking in any way we can. But again, then back to this, like, kind of, I mean, at least they're firing bombs at you now. That is a step in the right direction. That's way better. All right, and at least those come for you now. So, you know what, actually, the dungeon does improve on itself as it goes on, which I've got to say is something that most other dungeons have not been very good at doing. These mechs being this big and kind of coming across this strong, or like cool looking or powerful looking, and them not actually really doing anything that great is a bit of a shame though. I want to see the technology being like sick. But look, this is a Magitech Vanguard F1. He doesn't really look any different to the other ones. He's just a bigger version. What's the mechanics though? He does a strike there. You have to avoid. Run away. This is cool that there's like such a tiny gap. Tank Buster. And then Sid says, I'm pleased to have found you a suit of armor. More of the same come in. We just take care of business as usual. Then Sid arrives after blasting a hole in the door. And like these don't even really do anything. Again though, I can't be too mean about it, but realistically, like, for how cool of a moment it is in the story, they should have, and for having trash look this cool, they should have done cool shit. But there's only so much I guess they can do. Alright, so Sid diverts all power to the cannons, fires off the laser, which is pretty sick, lowers the shield. We approach, and then Levia appears, and we have a 1v1. Except I brought 4 friends with me. I actually think this is quite a cool fight. So Tank Buster, loads more telegraphed attacks that have timings to them, so you can be a little bit nuanced with like actually dodging, which is cool. And like, this is kind of teaching you, not for this dungeon, but for the next one. Is there a change in phase 2? Should have the big strike. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Move in and out. Yeah. Out and in and out. Whatever. And she's down. No, it's happening all over again. Ripperino. It's a cool dungeon. It does prelude to Praetorium, which is kind of a big deal. So Castrum. Castrum's got to be A tier. But I think actually where I've got it is... No, hold on. It's epic. The settings are great. There's a lot of reuse of trash monsters, but it makes sense. The music's cool. Only the last fight is good. You really are breaking into the enemy's headquarters sort of thing. It feels weighty. I don't think I can put it S tier, but it's got to be above the manor. Hello? It's not as atmospheric as the manor. We're gonna leave it there for there because I'm gonna rejiggle this pretty soon. So next up would be Praetorium, I believe. Okay, so Praetorium is pretty epic feeling. You are officially flying in now. You've broken into the place. You've lowered the defenses, and now you can actually go and assault. It's the big battle. You're leading up to the big thing, you know? This is it. This is what we've been fighting for. Ultimate weapon is within reach. It does feel epic. However, the trash doesn't really do anything. But there are explosions and stuff as you go through. It's quite cool. Again, this music is feeling actually very epic. You even fight around the outside of the environment. It does feel like you're taking every and any measures that you can possibly take to get to the final encounter. Yeah, it's kind of an all or nothing moment. And you do all this stuff to then arrive here at the command chamber for another duel with the Garleon. Right, so Gaius is here. Has a little chat with Sid. He then monologues a little more. I don't think he does his speech yet. Although the speech is in this dungeon, right? Gaius' speech is in this one. The fact that he he does this, that he manages to get away, very much flippin' annoyed me. The cutscenes are unskippable. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. This is cool. This guy is big and he's calling in lots of like area targeted damage. Nice. People also get like marked with damage, which is cool. So after taking care of a guy who shouldn't have been able to just appear out of nowhere and stop us from chasing Gaius down, we then chase Gaius down. We do get to actually mount up for the first time in a dungeon, and we again take any means necessary. We also feel like these machines that we're in are super duper strong because they literally actually one-shot stuff if you just stack everything up and just pew pew pew, which is nice that they let you do this. You finally get through, you continue on, you make short work of stuff that previously has actually taken you ages to kill. That's good. We have this, and then there's this moment, which for me is a big deal. You don't know at the time the importance of this moment. So we go through after Maggie has made one of the ultimate sacrifices. Then we have Nero. Yo. Sid's like, is someone there? Nero's like, hey babe. They have just a casual chat. Exposition. So Nero has a soak ability. The edges of the arena are damaged. He does a cleave. He summons a death claw as well. You gotta kill those before they get to you, or they do this move. Okay. Another tank buster. Then a move to the edge move. Oh no, a blast to the edge move. So weird. Soak. I mean, he's teaching you a lot of ARR raid mechanics. I know now who Nero is and a little bit of importance to him, having done Crystal Tower and whatnot. But at the time, it just feels like he's another baddie, but for some reason, he fucking gets away. And I don't understand how. He just run off, disappeared, and it is what it is. Like, okay, fine, whatever. This is the slow train down. Gaius comes here and says, tell me, for whom do you fight? This is the freaking monologue. This is the monologue. It's giving me everything. It's giving me everything. He powers up. He goes Super Saiyan. I gotta respect it. It's hype. But is the fight hype? Well, we haven't seen anything like that before. That's cool. You have to learn quickly. He'd be doing these crazy moves. Tank Busterino. Soak. Aerial attacks. I mean, all of this is perfect training for Ultima. Soakerino. And then, even despite you actually fighting him, oh yeah, he splits into 4 because he's like, he is the Hokage. I don't know, man. But despite the fact that you go to all of this effort, he gets away, right? He does a fucking sick move. And then he monologues, gets away somehow. He just walks into Ultima and we then got to fight a Metal Gear. Like, I genuinely thought I was finished at this point. I do remember genuinely, like, I can see here Hell's Bells in the chat says, bless, he thought he was done. Like, I actually did. I thought, cool, we've saved the day. But he just walks out and it's a whole new problem. So, Praetorium, all things considered, despite the fact it is all unskippable cutscenes, despite the fact that there are definitely some shortcomings to it, it is so epic and of such scale and importance to A Realm Reborn and everything you've been doing up to that point that it is kind of impossible to not put it as S tier. Now, bear in mind, I've not actually done it since the first time I've done it. So, I can totally understand where people's pain would be. And the meme comes in, they're like, oh shit, you got Praetorium on your roulette? You better put that film on. I get it, but Prey's gotta be S tier because it's Praetorium. It is what it is. So next up, Wanderer's Palace. Wanderer's Palace is cool. What's the name of you see the little dude who just ran in holding the lantern? What's the name of those? Tonberry. Tonberries are awesome. This dungeon is going to be rated highly. Highly indeed. Music is quite calm and very chill. There's a big Tonberry that we must run from. We cannot fight, I believe. So we just got a go gadget. Aesthetically, it's pretty cool. It actually does feel like a palace. I have to reserve that for when we get further inside, though, because whilst the exterior all feels like a palace, like, it's not like we're going to be fighting through, you know, grand ballrooms or checking out people's bedrooms or kitchens or whatever. I don't know. I cannot fully remember. So far, just more trash is trash. I mean, in terms of actual enemies and what you're fighting, it's pretty lame. The tomberries and the area, like the actual environment itself, are carrying hard. Then you fight a giant... Is it a Gobu? Gobi? I can't remember. Gobu? I've only actually encountered these in the overworld so far. So it's cool. But, like, look at the fight. Not cool. And then we do actually make it towards an interior, or at least, well, looks to be an interior, but it just shows you the grand scale of this place and how it's huge. Skipping ahead and go further in. It's not two options, is it? No. Everyone needs to press the button at once. Not so cool on the 6th time. But again, the scale of the place is huge. It really does feel like a palace. And any moment now, that giant tomberry is going to come and scare the crap out of me, right? We're fighting skeletons. The trauma of the place, yeah, the lore and stuff. I can kind of remember it, but I'm not 100% because I haven't leveled a scholar, so it doesn't hit as hard for me. I think I do remember a little bit. Yeah, getting chased by like the tomberry. He's giant. He has a knife, and he's on the hunt. Very creepy. He got me with the throat stab. Oh, I kind of remember this boss. So I like the model. That chain thing is the first time I'd encountered that in the game. Yeah, so we fight our way through. There's zombies, baddies, more trash, and then this. This is pretty cool. The Tomberry King is here, and he's pissed. As we fight him, Tomberry starts slowly walking towards us, but they're actually kind of menacing about it. Not much of a fight, though, have to say. And then Tomberry slashers spawn in, but there's, like, I don't know. They get nowhere close. So the king falls. That's the end. Is there a little bit afterwards? I can't remember. It's not this. No, maybe it's the hard mode one. But so the Tomberry King has fallen. The Wanderer's Palace. The Tomberries are cool, the palace environments are cool, but everything else about it is lame. The music doesn't feel that cool. In fact, I think aside from like the design of the Tomberry King and the fact that there's like that giant Tomberry who just like is ready to slash you in the night. Other than that, the normal mode is a little bit weak for me. So it's either like on the cusp of being C. It's probably at the top of C or the end of B. C. So it's Amdapor Keep now? Adampor Keep. I always say that wrong because we're very close to being able to basically rebalance everything after 2.0. Already the music is not the way for me. The environment's cool and the monsters are cool so far. The place is dealing with is it cultists who have summoned Voidsent. So we got a Psych Flayer, which is basically a repeat of the boss that we see in the first dungeon. So that boss was a repeat of the one from Tamtara. It's nice that it's like used sparingly. The dungeon is big. The keep is big. And the environment is very cool. Uh-oh, some more Voidsent appears. We fight our way through. And it's so hard for me to separate the memory of the keep from the Lost City hard mode or whatever it is. Or just the Lost City. I can't remember. We now fight this boss. The creepy door boss. This is cool. Especially because we end up coming back to fight it in one way or another. Kind of, I guess. It's very creepy. I mean, this is, like, scope and scale-wise, this is huge. There is a lot of trash. And then we come to the final boss room. The Presence Chamber. Unique model. Creepy as fuck. Makes sense considering the cultists are summoning all this nastiness. The place is not looking good. I think by this point in the game, the stuff that you've encountered and what you will encounter, unless it's like directly leading into a raid, you're not gonna get things that are super unique until a hard mode. which is understandable, and I will give some leeway for that, I think. Apart from this boss and the wall boss, bosses in here suck. I think Amdapur Keep is probably like... It's a really big dungeon and really, really well, like, environmentally. I don't like the fucking music. I'll put it there for now. Oh, this music is so frustrating though. And I know that it's supposed to, like, go with how creepy goings-on are within the dungeon and the nasty void scent and the cultists and stuff, but... Oh, I don't know. It's really strange, but, like, actually, I think it suffers from the same problem as the Wanderer's Palace. The environment is great, but everything else is a bit... meh. Now that we've got everything from 2.0 laid out roughly, I'm gonna play the music through again and just get a taster and a reminder and try and rebalance this stuff just to make it a little more fair, because I think I need to introduce an F tier as well. Let's start with Sestasha and we'll go from there. Sestasha is the first dungeon that you encounter, and I don't think you want to be too hard on it, really. I don't feel like I am too hard on it, to be honest. Like, being B tier, if I introduce F tier, if I moved everything down a bit, that might help me for the moment. So Sestasha being C tier is fine. I actually think it might even be B tier because it opens the game up really well. It has you doing environmental puzzles. There's good lore. You got a lot of stuff in there. Tamtara Deepcroft, atmospheric, music, and the actual design of the place, cool, but there's actually really only one boss, and those 3 mini bosses suck, and there's no real variance in any of the mobs. So I'm going to put it closer to the top of D tier. Copperbell Mines. So the music is okay. The place is a dungeon itself, like, actually environmentally, it's a mine. And it does mine things, and that's okay. In terms of the bosses, they're all lame apart from the last boss. I think it still belongs with Tamtara, but it's got to be better than Tamtara. Okay, next up is Halatali. It does have good music. It has good lore. The environment is pretty cool. They reuse it a lot. I'm trying to remember the bosses again, and I don't think they're that great. The last boss is cool. The first boss is that fire one. The second one is the electric lizard. I don't think it's D tier, but I don't think it's B tier either. So it's fine in C. The Thousand Moors of Totorak. The music's pretty good. The dungeon is very much what it is. A dungeon. It's the lore stuff that happens inside it, or at the very end of it, that holds it up. And I think the lore itself has to put it higher than Halatali, because it actually has legit MSQ lore in there. It could even... No, it can't be. It can't... Could it be B? Could it be B? Could it be B? Could it be B? It can't be B. Okay, Bugake Manor. The music absolutely slaps. The lore is cool. The place is cool. The environment itself. The fights are okay. I think I gotta put it B, you know. Brave Flox's Longstop has you fight your first ever dragon, which kind of like, it gets teased there on the intro, but it's kind of a surprise when it actually comes and steals the last hit of the penultimate boss from you. Cool environment design. Music's okay. Actually, the music's quite nice. And it's the first dungeon that you're outside in. It's gotta be higher than Sestasha, but it's not better than the Manor. The Sunken Temple of Khan does have cool music. It's kind of like an outside and inside dungeon. It very much does feel like a temple. You are doing some very temple-esque stuff. It's a little bit Indiana Jones. It's a little bit The Mummy. There's some interesting lore that exists there, whether or not you found it out by this point. I don't think you have, but it's cool. And it's one of those dungeons design-wise where you can see where you're going, kind of thing, from where you get to. So that's fine. It's fine on A, but further in on A. Fucking Cutter's Cry. It's F tier. Next. Stone Vigil. You're fighting dragons. It's your first dungeon that's actually kind of Ishgardian and Dravanian in tone. You do see some good lore stuff. You can actually spot Ishgard in the background. You're here to get Sid's Enterprise ship. Very important. I think it sits exactly where it is, with Castrum in front of it. The music is dog, though. Fuck, the music is dog. What was so special about Sunken Temple of Khan that I left it in A? Oh, my brain. I don't know. I actually don't think Sunken Temple exists where it does. Shit. Oh my god, Sunken Temple's actually C. In a shocking twist. Okay, man is B. Oh, Stone Vigils. Oh no. Oh, wow. Whew, I bet none of you saw that coming. Oh, fuck. What's this again? Yeah, Darkhold. Dude, where did I put that? D tier? Fuck it, it's going F tier. F tier. Worse than Cutter's Cry. Aurum Vale, you've got your own tier, man. Castrum is huge. Big lore importance. One of the only dungeons of its theming. The music feels like you're breaking in. It does actually improve as you go on. Throughout the dungeon, it does improve. And you're fighting against the Empire. I mean, I think it can live in A. And there's room for better things to go above it in A, because it's just in A. Does that mean Halkyn Manor's only just in A? No. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Oh yeah, there's an 8-man version in this video. Nice. And Praetorium sits where it does in S tier for now. That's fine with me. Praetorium can sit in S tier where it does. So that would mean that the next thing is going to be Pharaoh Sirius, which is the first patch dungeon that we've got on the list. Oh my god, I remember this. Okay. So Pharaoh Sirius is pretty cool. It's teased earlier in the game, lore-wise. You go to the island that it's on, and you do some stuff there, and you get teased that there's the end boss. I think it's like a lady or a siren. We're doing it mind blind, and I'm warned that like this thing will kick your ass, because some of the stuff is just pretty janky. And I think we do actually wipe. Design-wise, it's very unique. It's cool. You do feel like you're actually scaling the spire, because you are. The song is a banger. Design-wise, everything is better. Taking care of zombies. So this is a boss. There's a lot happening in terms of like damage going on. Yeah, everyone wipes, we wipe. Fantastic. That's what we like to see. An increase in difficulty. This is patch content. This is after people have beat the game and waited for a patch to give them more stuff to do. You should have some gear about you on your character. You should be at an appropriate power level, and therefore you should have an appropriate challenge. So it's cool. It goes down second time. No problem. Again, the design of the place is cool. Dealing with those corrupted crystals, like having to destroy those ASAP. I think we wiped on, yeah, we wiped on that too. So the trash is frustrating, but it's appropriate levels of frustrating and like a little bit of complexity to them. And, you know, having to actually understand what you're up to. Which again, at this point in the game, that's what we want, right? Making our way further up, you can even see outside a little bit there. Not that I was paying attention. Is this still is this still the song? It is still the song. Wow. Okay. I mean, Chef's Kiss. Zoo. This is the one with the eggs and you have to kill the right eggs, yeah? If you pop the wrong eggs, everyone gonna die? So this boss was crazy. This was a cool fight. I think we wipe again and we do 3 tries on this boss. Yeah, everyone dead there. We go again. That's a good bit of context for us there, for everyone. Everything that I do in the VODs you see are blind and mine, so be gentle with me in the comments. Mechanically, this is more complex than any other fight in the dungeon, and actually after this, the whole thing is ridiculously easy, which is a shame. But it is a wild difficulty curve to throw how complex and dangerous this boss is compared to other stuff that you will have done the whole way. Oh, we coming in clutch. Me and Phoenix right there, baby. Easy. First time, 0 deaths. You all saw it. Let's skip ahead. We've been in Pharaoh Sirius for a while. 2 bosses left. More of the same trash, realistically. But like the scale of what you're doing, you really do feel like you're actually going to the top, you know? is nice. Then you fight this bird, and you think, wow, this is going to be hard, and it's gone. There we go. GG, well played. Don't even understand why it's in the game, but okay. And then this is cool. A little bit of lore, and unfortunately, the siren isn't really a big deal, but it's cool lore-wise, design-wise, and musically. The whole place is pretty sick. The bosses look cool too. It's a shame that they're not all as dangerous and complex as that previous one. I think all in all, for what it is, Ferrosiris is a very good dungeon, and I'm even slightly nostalgic for it, just thinking like, oh my god, we died a lot. Ferrosiris. Where do I think you go? It's not quite Praetorium. The music is incredible, but lore-wise, it can't be better than Castrum Meridium. I think it's above Hoke Manor, but it's not above Castrum. This is the Lost City of Amdapor. I've seen a lot of love in that for Lost City of Amdapor in the chat, and to be honest, design-wise, immense. Musically, very cool. It goes with the fact that it feels like something really bad happened to the city. You feel the loss and the weight of it all. Oh my god, the music is going to carry this dungeon to S tier, no? At this point as well, the thematics of the dungeons and the enemy design that's within them, they're kind of pretty well paired and matched. And in terms of like the complexity of whatever the monsters would be doing in terms of trash, and even bosses for the most part, they're all kind of similar. So there needs to be something stand out to set them apart. I mean, this song absolutely slaps. This goes so hard. Trash takes a little longer in these dungeons. This is an interesting change to a model that we've seen before. It being all nasty and moldy and decrepit, and it's great. I mean, it's literally decaying, it's in the name, but it's really cool. You have to attack its maw to free someone. All right, look, it's pretty obvious that Lost City's S tier. Let's skip ahead and find out. Is there anything that stops it being S tier? Because I mean, I remember just marveling at the environmental design and being able to see so much stuff. It's very clever trickery in terms of like loads of stuff you can see, but you can't actually go and get to or touch. But it's very impressive. There's a lot of scope and scale. Like, look at everything you can see. I'm pretty sure I stop and look at some of this stuff. Yeah, I'm talking about it now. Look at this. Look at that. And there's the glowy bit. Yeah, I'm even mousing over it. Yes. Yo. And again, all this poison stuff, just really feeling like you are in a decaying, nasty ass place, and it's no bueno, and you really don't want to be here any longer than you have to be. I mean, even this, what we're fighting on, being created from all this nasty, it's like mold. Is this a mold pigeon? A mold dragon? It's flying around. Actually being able to see it fly around is a standout thing. I don't even know if I should continue watching. It's very clearly, this is S tier. This is such a big step up. Coming out swinging with the first patch for the game. And this isn't the last boss. And then we go into here and look at the design in here. You really do feel like you're in a Lost City. It reminds me of the Lost City levels that you get in Crash Bandicoot 1, where they're all in the dark and you have to jump from like place to place that has light, but then the light goes out and you have to move. Like, man, it's so good. And even the mechanic for this bit here, where you have to take care of some certain statues, prioritize them, I think, otherwise it empowers all of the others. Oh, it's a moth. It's a goddamn moth. I knew that. I was just testing you. Like here, I'm pretty sure I wipe on this one because there's too many, and I'm just not, my brain can't do. And then we approach the final fight. This. Diabolos. Now, fortunately, I didn't have to actually use brain for when it comes to what to do here. Somebody was kind enough in our party to be marking and saying where to go. I think it's Obso. You legend. So I haven't even got to do brain. All I got to do is just stand there and tank. But this is cool, and you can easily mess this up. It's a pretty sick fight. It's unique. The whole place is incredible. Let's be real, my friends. The Lost City of Amdapor is absolutely S tier. Now, is it above the Praetorium? I think it's got to be. And Castrum doesn't belong in A. It just can't be. Halatali Hard. We revisit. I'm still saying the name wrong, aren't I? Halatali. No, I'm saying it right. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. The music's okay. There's still just more monsters in here, like, you know, beasties. And in terms of a glow up, it's not really had a big change. More goddamn lizards and wolves and bats. But that's a good point. You can actually use the environment for damage in this one. So that is cool. That's an improvement. You're defeating the mammoths. I mean, is okay. That's a very cool boss design. This is a cool boss design. I've decided the music is shit though. So in terms of like environmental change and the music being shit, it's actually not looking too hot for Halatali Hard. Design of the boss is cool and actual mechanics there were great. It's engaging, but everything else is very lacking so far in Halatali Hard. Okay, so now what was this boss? Oh, there are pillars. Yep, I kind of remember. And there are orbs. And I overcomplicated what you need to do here. I thought you had to destroy an orb or something. I think you just click on the orb and use it, right? Either way, I think without even doing it right, we get it done. I don't think this was the only hard mode that was in 2.2. Brave Flocks, Lost City, and Halatali was all in one. I can kind of forgive Halatali for being as bad as it was, or feels to me at least, because you got other stuff with it. And this was an okay fight. Fighting those three as if they were the big deal, and then this thing coming out. What did this thing do? It casts a fireball. It chains you. It just feels like a little bit of a debate. I don't even know why the original 3 gladiators were standing out at the front. Because as we enter this arena, we see this thing is behind the gate. I gotta be real. Halatali Hard ain't that great, man. I mean, it's better than the original because it has mechanics that challenge you. Musically, it's terrible. Thematically, it kind of makes sense, but it's still just super lame. And I think considering that you've actually done Halatali before and then you go back and it feels like it's fucking worse, I'm gonna put it F tier, man. That's actually such a miss. Next up, Hullbreaker Isle. Okay, music. It's not good. The music is not good. The music is not good. But you're on an island. The lore about you finding the lost, like even being able to get to the island itself, navigate there, and then like finding the pirate lore and the gold and the stuff. You fight a kraken at the end. It's got more going for it, especially soon as I'm dressed as Monkey D. Luffy on his journey to find the One Piece. It's got a lot going for it, but the music holds it back massively. You know what? That's a good point about the music. Would be much better for me if I didn't. I'm almost level 100 on my fishing, and that's not a recent thing. I've been almost level 100 for months. So maybe it's my fault, and I'm not being subjective enough. Right, so I remember, yeah, this fight here, I really hoped that we were going to fight on the bridge, but then we end up fighting here, and you have to grab the bananas from the trees nearby, and he's a Sasquatch. Exactly, we only fight one person on bridges, indeed. It's a very unique model, let's put it that way. And look, thematically, it feels like we've gone to this fabled island that people can't reach, and it's hard to get there, and the pirate, there's the rumors of the pirate, One Piece is hidden, you know, like, it's good. It's really good with the theme. You're even fighting treasure coffers, goddammit. Like, there's a lot going on here. The stone pedestal to get to the secret pathway into the, what do you call it? It reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean, where there's a ship in a cove that makes no damn sense, but it's awesome. It's so perfectly themed. Exactly. Yeah, then you do 2 more stone pedestals. It opens up. Oh, the Goonies. Oh my god, I haven't watched the Goonies in so long. This was an interesting fight with the bubbles, the diving under phase, going to the edge, not getting sucked into a bubble. Otherwise, you die insta. Not much to this boss. much more than this, but it's unique. Yeah, I'm even like admiring all of the ship-esque stuff here. And then you come out. It looks like you shouldn't jump down there, but you do, and it's fine. Look at that. Look at this. And then it's really sad that this Kraken is actually so dull to fight. And nowhere near what I thought it was going to be like. And it's just such a shame. It's just such a shame. Oh yeah, there's also that horrible flashing. I don't know if that's since the update for Dawn Trail has come in graphically, but it looks awful. In fact, you know what? It looks so awful that I'm just going to pause it there and not go through it anymore. Hullbreaker Isle for me is huge. It's huge. I think it's got to be A tier. The music I'm very accustomed to, but it because of like how much I've ocean fished, but it does fit with the pirate theme well, and everything on the island is super thematic. Unfortunately, the Kraken fight at the end is a bit lame. Nonetheless, it's cool, and I think it's A. It's got to be better than Ferrosirius and these two. I don't know if it doesn't quite have the musical chops to sit on S tier, because these all have unique music. Hullbreaker Isle shares music with ocean fishing. It breaks my heart to not put it S tier, because Pirate's life for me, baby, but it can't do it. It can't do it. After Hullbreaker, we're going to go to Tamtara Deepcroft. So I remember seeing this in the trailer for 2.3 and being like, holy, this is such a step up. I need to remember, and hopefully somebody in chat can remind me, is Tamtara Hard the one where we're in here to try and help some of the adventurers that we met earlier in our journey, and one of them is trying to resurrect their lover or something? Because I'm pretty sure I shortlisted this for one that I want to be going through on Halloween with the stream. It is that one. Yes, excellent. This one with the notes. Holy shit. And I think even though the music is frankly annoying, it's also so, like, listen to that. You know that things are not okay. Actually, things are worse than ever. Noticing that we still have to do the altar stuff, very frustrating. Wait, does that usher spawn after we wipe everything just like before? Or was it already part of the pack and we just killed it slow? It looks like it's already present. It's a bit lame, but it's not too bad. Right, so we wipe straight away there. So the ushers are invulnerable when the linked enemies are still alive. So that's probably why it looks like I'm doing it slow. I see. Okay. That's not too bad. Thematically, this dungeon is insane. It's so good. So much to the point that actually I went in here recently, like two or three streams ago, maybe 4 streams ago. I used it to take screenshots for the Halloween community event that is in our Discord. Is this not actually peak spook? Peak spook? And again, this boss is actually hard, and we wiped twice, maybe thrice. When I say actually hard, you gotta pay attention. You gotta do. We got a third time. You can see 0 deaths, easy peasy. Defiled coffins. Look at that. Look at that monster. Fucking hell, it's so good. All of the notes and everything. I can't move my body. Help. Like, just everything that happens in this dungeon is so well done. Spare Bonnie. And I just remember the ending as well. Holy. Okay. The teleport there is a bit weird, but it is taking us, I believe, to a level deep in Tamtara Deepcroft that we haven't actually been to in the original version, maybe? Yeah, I don't remember this in the original. Oh no, I kind of do. It's just reversed, maybe. Yeah, I've been debated. We get to the final boss, and she's desperately trying to recall her loved one from beyond the grave. Oh, and it doesn't look good. Oh, it's so messed up. Do it at 1.5. Even Redzy is here. Now you can dream of becoming like him can come true. Oh no. The face. I mean, it has laser beam eye attacks. It's literally a floating, flapping head. It summons other portal things. I mean, it's pretty messed up. There are grooms to be that are just like the animation of them crawling. Oh my god. It's creepy. It's creepy as hell. it's the ending of this dungeon that is actually way harder than like it has any right to be. Here we go. Oh, what have you done? A very no. Oh gosh, you're gonna. What? No, stop backpedaling. Oh, you set yourself on fire. Oh, this is not gonna. Stop doing that. Is she smiling? Why is she smiling? Okay, here we go. Best bit of the dungeon. Monk, welcome to the stream. How's it going, buddy? This blows my mind. It's finally over. Well, that could have been different, but what choice did we have? You didn't really do much. Yeah, that little Lala did jack shit. Are you just walking off? Let this be my last act as an adventurer. I've done quite enough harm as it is. I mean to go home and live out my days in... Huh? Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. It can't be. Huh? I'm sorry, please forgive me. Yo, and we look. Yeah, we're coming back here. And there's nothing. Oh, damn. I knew she was coming back. The editing there was sick. Oh, it was so good. It was. The editing there was sick. So sick that let's be real, okay? Let's be real. Tamtara Deepcroft hard. All right? Better than Praetorium. No. It can't be. Praetorium's like MSQ. But it's better than Castrum. Yeah. I mean, we're rolling with that. I believe. It's too good. It's too good. Next up, Snowcloak. Snowcloak is very recent to me. The whole dungeon is a banger. I'm gonna try and be critical. I don't have to be. I'm gonna try and be critical. But realistically, look at the place, okay? Through the lens of like the graphic update that came with Dawn Trail. The whole place is blue crystals and snow. I mean, it's great. The music is lovely. It's very vibey. I swear it's got that crazy sick boss at the end, which may or may not be called Heavensward or have an ability called Heavensward. I'm trying to remember. So you get a key, we open a door, we keep fighting through. There's ice stuff in a nice area. It makes sense. There's walls. There's this guy with his unique model. Epic design. Nice spell effects on the attacks. Can neither confirm nor deny that I wanted to call him 1D-Lo because there's a capital O on the end of his name. But it's actually not part of his name. The fight is very nice. The music is very nice, and it's thematic and a unique model. We roll on. There's falling snow goobos, more ice sprites. I mean, it's ice things in a nice place, but the music just has no right to be going as lovely and gentle as it is. This guy is well, I guess unique model, yeah. Kind of. We do see Yetis around, don't we? In Kurthus. I just haven't spent much time actually, like, in the overworld in Kurthus. This is cool, the Frozen Spike move as well. I like that. It's nice. But realistically, this isn't where the absolute chef's kiss goes. You come through, there's even more crystal shit. It looks amazing. I thought this guy was a boss. It's just a reskin of one of the many bosses that you have killed before that just get pushed along. This room, I have to say, I didn't like this whole gauntlet thing that was going on with this. It was a bit wah. But considering how unique the rest of the dungeon is, it's okay. It's okay to have that. The Snowclops, again, unique. Why is this music going so hard? Then there's the door to Oblivion, which is interesting because I think Shiva Lady of Frost, isn't her song Oblivion or close to being called Oblivion or something like that? And then look at this. Goodest boy. Fenrir. Absolutely love it. Look at this doggo. 10 out of 10. 1,000-year storm. This is as anime as it can get. And then it goes and uses a move called Heaven's Ward. Any moment now. Come on, good boy. Stop teasing everyone. Just do the thing. Heaven's Ward Roar. It's a banger. Not sure what else to say. I really like the dungeon. Snowcloak is sick. Excellent thematicness. I felt sad to actually have to kill the puppo. He was a good boy. Okay, Snowcloak is very good. Snowcloak is very good. Considering that they literally, they say the thing. There's Heaven's Ward in there. The design of the place is lovely. The music is just so lovely. I mean, what else are you supposed to do but put it above Crashtrum for sure, right? It's got to be a... Hold on. Let's move this around. Castrum, Tamtara Deep Hard, Snowcloak, Praetorium, Lost City of Yeah. That feels about right. Oh, or does Snowcloak get its own doggo one? Does it sit above S tier? Still, I'll be rebalancing again once we finish the patch stuff. Next up, Sestasha Hard has fantastic music. It is a return to the very first dungeon that you experience as a Sprout in Eorzea. You come back and all the water that was high in the dungeon gets lowered. You even encounter the enemies that you did before, but they have been changed. They have been punished for doing such a shit job. Drowned botswains. Things have not worked out for them. Look. It's different. Same, but different. Drainage pump. You drain it, and you get to see that. And then it reveals a boss. Is that not sick? That's a unique texture design on this nasty bug. I don't think he does anything necessarily very interesting though, but still. I think actually no, he does weaken you and you can get like absolutely destroyed if you don't use the defensives. The tail screw reduces your HP to 1. Easy, first time 0 devs, don't rewind, continue on. We fight fish that are like, hey, what the fuck? I was just swimming and then you took the water out of the place. Makes sense. There are crabs that otherwise would have been pretty chilled and placid, but again, I messed up their home. Can't blame them. Then there are drowned wenches and courtesans. These may actually be the prisoners that we didn't save from the first time we were here, which is really fucked up to think about. We get introduced to that brine mechanic stuff. Now we're on our way to defeat Captain Madison, who is again someone from the first dungeon. Captain Madison got punished by the Lord of the World. He even references us there and says, you fucker, you done me in last time. And he's like just a nasty big squid head dude kind of thing, which is cool. He's been punished in a certain way. Eternal damnation and servitude, that kind of thing. Davy Jones locker, we love it. Also an interesting fight in terms of how many ads are on for you to deal with. But realistically, it's just like a tank keep aggro and you can just focus the boss. And look, you find this cove that has a pirate ship in it as well. These are all drowned versions of the pirate dudes. And it's just cool that, like, again, we had to get here. We ended up taking a different path. Well, we took a similar path to the original one, but we had to drain it. It was cool. Then once we get through, we'll eventually fight the first mate. Forgot about this. We absolutely get jumped by all of these, but they're not actually like strong enemies. And then the Kraken reappears again and he's like, all right, here we go. You want some? Unfortunately, the Kraken fight once again just doesn't really live up to what I wanted from a Kraken fight. You know what? Thing is though, I don't really know what it is that I'm expecting from a Kraken fight. There are tentacles and you just got to go and deal with them and then go and fight the face. Like, until they do something where you have to move on ships, like from ship to ship or something. or climb on top of its head. I don't know. There's only so much room in the budget, you know. But again, you fight the Kraken. It's a Kraken thing. And it's a Kraken fight. The music was very, very good. Setasha hard. Good music. Excellent theming. Returning to the beginning of the game. I mean, its original form lives at the end of B tier for now. I think it's above Pharaohs. It has even, it's above Hullbreaker. It's got good music. It's a return to the first dungeon. It's got all the feels and the vibes. You're back. You take it. You're even called out by the first enemies that you fought. It's a good one. Sunken Temple of Khan. So we're back in the temple again. The music is way up this time. We also now know lore-wise that the zombie dust that's in here is very important and very dangerous. Ties into Hildebrand quite heavily. Again, it does a fantastic job like it did before of like, you can see how big the dungeon is. And it looks like it's ginormous, but because of this, the sneaky snaking that you end up doing around corridors and stuff, it's very, very clever. It's very clever. Fighting these goddamn monsters again. We can actually use the traps for damage. And then we come to the actual first boss, which is in a way a revamped version of the last boss from the first time we were here. But it's got all of these different sections to it that you have to take care of. It's weird that these ruin crawlers come out to fight you between the phase. Very strange. Regardless though, that's cool. Like, it's cool unique animation there for the swirly sand thing. And I suppose the floor knock up thing that looks like an earthbender move. Music is good. Thematics are good. It's a good enough amount of changes that it doesn't feel like I'm just back in the same place again. And it's just more of the same old. The music is so good. Again, it feels like we're doing some real Indiana Jones jazz. So we go through, take care of more of this, well, just trash of Khan, really. These are cool, but they are a little bit lame at the same time. They are cool, but it's like, I get the theming here. Have them be a little, like, is that supposed to be the head of something? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so confusing. Are we building up to fight and like, so this is a boss fight? Whereas I'd have preferred if those like cool statuette hands and heads and things then came together here to be the big boss. I can't remember if maybe actually that happens later, but that's kind of what I mean by cool but lame. It's like, really cool thing used in a really lame moment. Doesn't this boss absolutely destroy it as well? Is it the 1 million needles of death? There it is, 100,000 needles. Yeah, I got free acupuncture treatment in this stream. I dislike the idea that a boss was one of the cactus though. The mummies come out and it literally is the mummy / Indiana Jones. We love it. Mummy Knights. Baldean Knights. Again, this is huge lore. Big lore. And again, it feels like we've gone far. We could see where we came in from. More Baldean Knights. Really messed up. We have to solve a magical trap, which frankly is my least favorite part of these ones. Just go and click the thing. You're not solving anything. There's not a lot of solving involved there. And then this fight, I remember being very good. So now we're fighting a culmination of all those big things that we saw before. So at least that is actually done. That's good. And this guy uses the crazy thriller move, right? With the coffins. There they are. The coffins come out. So there we go. First try, 0 deaths. As usual, of course. Easy peasy. And our journey through the Sunken Temple Hard comes to an end. Now, I've got to be real. Okay. The music is carrying this very hard. Very hard. I think it goes harder than Snowcloak. It doesn't quite go Amdapor. Oh, you know what? No, I don't know. It's got really high lore, but it's not essential. Maybe it's higher than Sestasha. Great music, great environment, very interesting fights, great lore, but it's not like absolutely firing on all cylinders. Or firing on enough of one cylinder to carry the rest. I think it turns out that for that entire time, I was listening to the wrong music for Sunken Temple of Khan. Very tricky. Great environment, a couple of interesting fights, a couple of boring fights. The music is cool, but I don't think it's there. I think it's a little less. Yeah, I think low A, because it does have excellent. It's excellent in other areas, but it's not quite as good as I thought it was. What it actually means is that the Keeper of the Lake music is what I had just been listening to that whole time, and the Keeper of the Lake is huge. The Keeper of the Lake is huge. Huge lore, huge environment, huge design. Something that we've known that has been coming for ages as well. The music I've just been listening to, thinking that it was it was for a different dungeon, and it was like very highly up there. And now that I found out it's for this, it's just going to propel the Keeper of the Lake so high. I mean, look, you're fighting up the crashed ship. It's too big. All the info from 1.0, it's just too huge. I'm gonna have to drop the resolution down. My internet seems to be struggling. What? Why is there a Java update? Who the fuck you? What? Okay. When was the last time you saw a Java update? Have I got malware? Just the process of fighting through this dungeon is pretty wild. Crystal Tower in the background. Well spotted, of course, of course. I mean, we do see it from higher up as well, right? The music, the fact that we're fighting some dragon variants that are also getting hold of old Magitech bombs from the Garlean Empire in the crashed ship from the 1.0 lore videos that we've watched. I mean, everything about this is freaking wild. And then we progress up further, and it does a nice trick here of like pushing us up far enough that we feel like we've made some good distance. Fight some old remnants of the Garleans. Still got to deactivate their barriers. It's a miracle that they're still running. I don't even know how these guys, they just have like the greatest tech of all time. Batteries that never run out. We need to get some of them Aetheryte batteries IRL into electric cars, friends. This is the way. And then we fight this thing, which is quite cool, actually. I've only just noticed that this looks like it reminds me of the design that we're seeing in Heavensward at the moment that Sid is about to show us, or did just show us. Looks like it's a kind of little twist take on this. This is pretty wild. Literally fighting a ship. We continue on and up. Wait, I see Crystal Tower. Oh, no. You motherfucker. Mid-Sodgimmer. MIDI, like actually huge. Yeah, we're literally fighting Dragoon LB3, Daddy Dragon. It's an awesome fight. Some ads. Yeah, I remember being visually impressed with the way that this fight looks. I mean, it's a pretty epic fight, isn't it? All around. Just like the lore gravity of the situation, what it is we're doing, what we're fighting, where we're fighting. What we're fighting in view of, Crystal Tower, it's all pretty bananas. See, I think this actually has the boss music. So if I get Midgard Summer's boss theme up... Oh shit, yeah. Oh, damn. Oh my... Oh, God. Thank you for reminding me to check it for this one. If you are hearing what I am hearing, the Keeper of the Lake. I think it's gotta be right at the top. The design, the lore, the gravity of the situation, where you're fighting, what you can see when you're fighting, who you're fighting, what you can hear when you're fighting. It's it's top S tier. No, we're not playing the same game if you don't think that. The Wanderer's Palace Hard is a pretty interesting one because it has some good animation work with the tonberries in here. I think I'm gonna carry it quite far. The song already, let me just check. Is this the correct song? This is the correct song. The song is banging. The animations for some of what the tonberries get up to, very good. How much trash is there? Because I remember feeling like what Asura just said in chat when the dungeon's long. I remember looking at the list of objectives and saying in the stream, shit, this is huge. But actually, it kind of didn't last as long as we thought. I don't think I know the lore for this though, so that's a bit of a shame. At least I can't remember it off the top of my head. No, I think I do remember a little bit. I mean, unless I can actually properly recall what the lore setup was for being in here, I'm not 100% sure that I can give it points for it or not. The Amaljar or whatever the equivalent is that are in here that are doing the bad. We're sent in after them, I think, but I'm not 100%. That's it, the Mamaljar. Thank you. Oh yeah, I remember fighting around the standard and then just leaving it after. And again, the interior looks awesome, but this time the place is a little more vibrant with like actual dangers and whatnot. Obviously, because these guys have come in and taken over. I think eventually we realized that you can actually just skip those standards. You don't even need to kill those. There's quite a lot of trash that I am skipping in the VOD, I mean. Then we got Slithy. I actually remember, yeah, I'm DPSing for this fight, and I remember being like, wait, do we not have any mechanics to deal with? I think I didn't understand what was going on. Yeah, them being all around. I have to say, I still, looking at it now, I'm like, what? Was the range taking care of it? By standing in it or not standing in it? Oh, that's it. They give buffs. That's why I start running in. I see. Okay, cool. An interesting fight that I clearly missed out on. And even looking back on it now, I missed out on it again. Let me move on to free imprisoned tomberries. Yeah, so these nasty dudes come in and like basically take over the tomberries. This section was weird. I didn't understand if we need to stack on this or just kill his ads and then kill it. I still don't understand what the ads were about there. Clear our way through and we're on our way to the last boss. Still lots of trash. Yeah, I don't know. I actually agree. I think the dungeon is quite long. Regardless of like how quickly you might achieve some of those objectives on the side, it does feel like it's a lengthy dungeon. But the music is good, the environment is good, and this fight is also good. And the payoff at the end is even better. So I think worth it. Just long, but worth it. So we're fighting our boy here. Then I assume we just kite him round, right? I'm keeping him out. We cannot kill him without doing the idols, I think. Or we just need to do better placement. I can't remember what we do. Yeah, we just do better placement. Easy peasy. Let's pause this and actually watch this because the ending is good. Send it. I don't just notice his health percentage. I was like, oh shit. GG's. Rock gas boys. Oh. Oh, the tomberries have... Yo, the revenge of the tomberries. The fact that the music... I love that the music pauses for a sec. I know, right? It's fucking sick. It's so good. I agree with this guy. So good. Yeah, it seriously is. That was actually the best. Wow. And I'm wearing the same shirt as when I recorded this. No... Me and this guy, same wavelength. Same wavelength. The warrior light be like, ooh, no. That is, we gotta be real. We gotta be real. All of that makes up for the fact that, yeah, it's a long dungeon. Let's be real. Oh, it's the... I don't know. Does it go there? Is this still Wanderer's Palace? It is. It is so good. I gotta be realistic though. The music is banging. The environment is great. The dungeon is long. And the trash is lame. But the animation at the end is sick. It's equal with Tamtara, and I think on reflection, No, Snowcloak has... Oh, I'll have to wait. Amdapor Keep Hard is an interesting one because it felt like the layout had changed compared to Amdapor Keep Normal. Enough that, like, I genuinely felt like it was a completely new dungeon. Now, am I just misremembering it, even though I've literally just ranked this, like, within the last 6 hours on stream with you guys, and I've looked at Amdapor Keep, but am I losing my mind? So, I mean, layout and design-wise, it looks pretty damn cool. You can tell that the overgrowth is in full effect and has taken over. Just the wildlife, I guess, has taken over. But isn't it with the twist that, like, whilst it seems like it's all just overgrown wildlife taken over, there's actually some kind of bad void summoning nastiness going down. Like, yeah, there's a headless horseman, which is pretty cool. And definitely not normal and wasn't here last time. Encounter-wise, yeah, I got wrecked by something. I mean, the fact that it's a headless horseman design on this boss fight. The fact that the horse is black with blue glowing hair is pretty damn cool. I like it. It's got points. We then continue fighting more agitated, overgrowth, wilderness, wild beasties. So now it says the presence chamber. Yeah, see, I remember being... That's part of where we end the fight the last time we were here. We fight these big tree ants, and then we're off to defeat the boogeyman. Things are looking a little more tainted, a little more cursed. There's the boogeyman. This fight was awesome. Isn't this the one where we had to use the light and flash it? Use luminescence, and then, like, you have to drag it over? I remember misunderstanding this so badly the first time. I was like, no, I'm sure I'm right. But no, you actually do need to run to where it's going to be. You need to chase it. And it chains off each other, which is very cool. It's a very cool fight. I really, really enjoyed this fight. Yeah, that fight goes hard. Fighting the boogeyman, literally. The music is spooky. The vibe is spooky. The place is spooky. We're fighting the boogeyman. It's all coming together nicely. And then it's this. Yeah, the door boss comes back in its own way. And things just seem worse than ever. Like, I really didn't like this at all. In a good way. Like, this is spoops. Highly spoops. So you had to defeat everything before the wall, because the door wall bosses is getting closer all on all four sides, right? Defeat the waves before they reach there. And they get so close. And then you use the ether and teleport. I remember you from the trailer. I thought you was a snake man. Snake demon jester clown. Oh, we're using that sound effect. It's a very creepy boss. Very cool fight. Thematic. Isn't there something at the end of this that makes it seem like it's not the end though? Like he's gonna come back? Because there's a few that do that now, which is a brilliant addition to the game. It's the laugh again. Fuck off. Okay. Amdapor Keep Hard. It does go hard. It's got good vibes, but I don't think it's better than Khan, and I actually think it's probably B tier. Better than Brayflox and Stone Vigil and Sestasha, of course. I mean, Sestasha's the basic version. I'm being so generous, man. We'll leave it at B. Now that's all of those dungeons. There's Copperbell Mines hard, Hulke Manor hard, Brayflox Longstop hard, and Stone Vigil hard, and they all have the same music. Copperbell Mines hard. Now this is an early-ish one. Realistically, Copperbell Mines hard. It's 2.1. We're still in the mines and we're still doing mine-based things. I don't expect it to change that much. We have to use the lifts, of course. But now that these guys have been freed and they're no longer basically slaves, it's like they've taken over the dungeon and they're running rampant, which is cool. There's collapsed rocks that are in the way, which is okay thematically. There are lots of these guys, which is understandable, but like there weren't that many when I actually fought my way through here and encountered one or two. What are they? Are they giants? Oh, so that was interesting. We actually get to this point, but everything has changed and we're walking along these this destroyed platform, which I actually didn't notice properly the first time through. And actually, so the dungeon has changed a bit, which is interesting. Again, though, destroying collapsed rocks. Okay. Oh, now Golem is out and about. Very fitting, again, for a mine dungeon, with the rocks being in the mine and the stones and... Yep, okay. We get it, we get it. It doesn't actually look like there's a lot of interesting mechanics in this fight, though. It's just the fact that the Spriggan is piloting the Golem, basically, right? Here we go. Does the Spriggan run away? Oh, there he is, Biggie. Sorry, Biggie. Carry on through. Not fantastic monsters in here. And then we make our way through to the final boss, which I honestly don't remember, but of course it's just going to be a... Whoa, hold on. I don't remember him having like an eye patch and like messed up jaw. Oranos. Is this a variation of the boss we killed the first time? If it's a variation of a boss that we killed the first time round, or like defeated the first time round, that'd be quite cool. But otherwise, this actually seems like a little bit of a tank and spanks scenario. Nothing too fun to deal with at the end of it. Model-wise, he looks similar, but he's not doing like anywhere near as interesting moves that you have to escape from. It's just got friends coming in fighting. And he's donezo. I have to say that Copperbell Mines Hard is a little bit lackluster. I mean, it's just more of the same of the beginning one. There's just more trash. If anything, I think it's worse than its original. In some ways, it's worse than its original. The fact that it doesn't have unique music and it has this music, there could have been a little more fun stuff done, except for a couple of the lifts were broken or whatnot. I think I'm putting it here. Nah, I'll put it here. It's not worse than its original. It's slightly more streamlined. I'm just trying to decide how bad it was, not how good it was. Maybe at the end of C tier is okay. Maybe at the end of C tier is okay. The next up on the chopping block. So Hellkey Manor Hard. Same environment, but a little bit more rundown. Lore-wise, things are worse than ever on the interior since we were last here. Looks like we do still have to do keys and stuff, which is a bit lame. If we'd already opened the doors with the keys, are you telling me the demons relocked them? Trash very much seems to be the same as it used to be. Maybe a little more demonic, you know, like with these big bat monsters and whatnot, which is cool. Basically just more variations of the Void Scent dudes, but like, I'm not expecting anything incredible from it. This is a boss. A Mana Jester. Just summons butlers to assist. Not a lot going on. Yeah, not the most engaging of fights, to be honest. Actually, pretty dull first fight. But now we have the crystal ball to interact with, which seems to teleport us partway through. So we're not doing the same sections of the mana that we did last time. The trash and this environmental damage attack from the walls. Still not things that you can just like completely forget about on Blind Mine. It's good to notice that we're not actually retreading the exact same places that we did in the first time we were here. We're in a different section, the Red Hall, instead of like the basement or whatever. So we go in and then fight this boss, Ash. The floor is dangerous. Swords of Revealing Light. Very nice. It's just an angry demon goat man. Gotta respect it in some ways. Spinny Scythes. That boss a lot better and a huge step up compared to the very first boss of this dungeon, which was basically, I don't even think it should have been there. Well, we got these crystal balls to teleport through, which is a little bit cheeky. Oh, now we're in the basement. It's definitely a different section of the basement. It looks kind of similar, but it's a different layout and stuff. And then we get the Booba Demon, floor-wise, we know who this is. Are they a completely void, overtaken version of the owner of the manor from before? No, they might be from an older Final Fantasy game, but if I didn't play them, I wouldn't recognize them. Okay, cool. At least it's a nice throwback in some way. Got to take down the maid before you can take down the main. She was the leader of the Void Scent that was summoned by the lady from before. Ah, okay, cool. So she is still kind of a big deal. Makes sense of being the last boss. And having a fantastic model. And I don't think there's anything special about the ending of this dungeon either. We take care of her and then it's GG, well played. No sneaky animation at the end when we leave. Okay. It's an improvement in some ways on the original. But actually, the fact that it doesn't have its own music, I actually don't think it's that good. No, the fights are good. The fights are better than that. Because the fights are challenging and they were fun. I think middle of the road B is okay. It doesn't get to be as good as the first one, because the first one had such good music and was so nostalgic. I kind of feel like that belongs in A for its impactfulness early on, but it doesn't hit the same without the music the next time. It's still a very fun dungeon and it's not trash. It's not better than its original. Maybe it's better than Brayflox. It's better than Brayflox. We'll give it that. Next up is Brayflox's Long Stop Hard. This was actually a very surprisingly good hard mode dungeon that I didn't expect a lot from it. Like, if we look at where I put Brayflox here, it's B tier. It's really good in terms of the first time you do it, but like it's nothing super duper standout, right? So I didn't have expectations that the hard mode would do much better considering everything that I had played in the game since that point. When you go into this dungeon here and you see this layout and it's changed a little bit, but you've got this to contend with immediately, it's like not that cool, right? But as you progress through, you start noticing that, well, actually, the cannon situation that's going on is quite interesting. Because isn't that the last boss and it runs away now? You have to continuously dodge this as well. Fight our way up and through. Of course, collecting tiny keys as we go. Isn't this the usual entrance that we come into before? So we've already had like a different approach through the dungeon compared to the previous time. We go into a boss fight. And it's an Illuminati commander. Which even the idea of like, when you're at this dungeon and Brayflox says the Illuminati have taken over, I just remember being like chuckling so much at the idea of this Illuminati of these really strange talking creatures. Then look at how much is going on in this fight, like mechanically. It really just threw me off. I didn't expect there to be so much interactivity with a dungeon that I frankly had kind of like panned before I even went in. In my head, I was like, no expectations. Not really a lot going on. Very, very like mid. Yeah, and the reason for them the Illuminati taking over is they wanted the cheese. I mean, can you not? We're going in to help Brayflox protect his cheese. Keep the cheese that you earn. And I mean, overall, it's a really fun time and super lighthearted in here. It's a shame that the music wasn't unique. There's so much other fun stuff happening that it's kind of okay. I can forgive it. Then there's this as well. They've somehow gotten hold of, or they've created their own strange Magitech, which looks cool and unique. For all I know, it could be a reskin, but like, I think it looks cool. And the little ladder to climb up into the middle of the chest for them to pilot it is cool. Interesting fight, stuff to dodge and run around. That's what you want, right? We carry on dealing with these Illuminatis. The marksmans are quite interesting. I think they focus target someone or something. And then we come in for the final fight, which honestly, I didn't expect anything out of the ordinary here for this fight. Just got blown out of the sky. This from the beginning. The tank has come into the fight. The snipers get involved and do a mechanic. Then this guy rolls around. The bombs you need to knock away, which is a very cool mechanic. There you go. You attack them and they move. Yeah, that's sick. Brave Fox's long stop hard actually goes very, very hard. Way harder than I thought it was gonna go when I walked in. Again, it's a shame about the music for the dungeon itself being the way it is, and just the whole vibe in there. The Illuminati, the cheese, the Brave Fox Magitech, the tank. It is very, very good. And I think realistically, it's better than Snowcloak. Nah, yeah, it's better than It's beneath Snowcloak, but it's better than Wanderer's Palace and Tamtara. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Which brings us to the Stone Vigil hard. The last one to be judged. Oh, I'm already getting flashbacks. Okay, alright. So back in Kurfus. Don't spend a lot of time in Kurfus for dungeons in A Realm Reborn. Once again, trying to run through and clear out nasty dragons that have just been pestering around. And I have to say that realistically, I have memories of this sucking. There's these shield dragons that are actually quite tanky, as the name suggests. Mobs that you encounter a little bit further in that, like, don't they end up empowering themselves and get all their health back and become a dragon? And then you have to kill it all over again and they're a little bit tougher. So these shield dragons that, again, take too long, it just feels like they're paired with things that just arbitrarily keep you in these corridors. And it reminded me too much of the first time we did Stone Vigil. That was cool. Then anytime you did it subsequently, it wasn't that cool. And then being back again kind of sucked. This guy had, wasn't it a charge mechanic? And then he was disorientated? I can't remember. Let's see. Oh no, so he does that and you just want to run like right behind him. Cool model, but not a lot going on in terms of fun to do. Yeah, overall the mechanics aren't like anything super duper exciting or engaging. There is a lot of movement, so if you got ranged, it would be super easy, I guess. More of these corridors that I really dislike, but it just is part of the deal when you go into a Stone Vigil dungeon, I guess. So it's these ones here, the Harrier, who's doing the Dragon Blood move. If you don't interrupt that or kill it before it does that, it then transforms into this, and then you have to deal with those, and they seem to have either a lot of health or are just particularly tanky in general. That is frustrating. I understand wanting players to interrupt it or stop it or whatever, if it means that it's going to wipe the party or cause a lot of damage and make a more intense moment for the healer. But if it just transforms into something that isn't dangerous and just slows everything down, that's a bit shit. Okay, here we go. So then we get to the turtle boss, right? Which I thought this was actually really cool, but a lot of people in chat dislike it. Now it took, I think, 2, maybe 3 tries for us to do it because I didn't understand which abilities to prioritize when I was on the cannon. We had to get that clear in our party, but also I kept getting like knocked off my cannon, or I was getting myself off my cannon. So like right here, trying to fight monsters when I should just be on the cannon at all times is a little bit, not great. I suppose another telling thing about this is that so far in my journey of an Eorzean lifetime, I am part way through 3.0 MSQ for Heavensward, but I haven't encountered anything in the game that has asked me to man a mechanic or a vehicle and use it in like a specific mechanic or scenario. So clearly it wasn't a fan favorite and it didn't go down well. Maybe it's improved on in time, but there's no need to tell me now. No spoilers, please. When we actually know what it is to do, it's pretty easy. But like the clunkiness of getting in and out of that thing to avoid that spinny turtle move is just meh. But after 3 tries, we do get it down and we can continue on with our lives in for the last boss. Okay, awesome design, angry dragon thing. Realistically, what am I looking at for mechanics? I'm trying to remember. And we got a non-telegraph tail swipe. We have a charge move. Then another one appears. Is it a clone? Oh no, you just actually do end up fighting 2, don't you? It's Guravianosauruses. Or however you say that word. But yeah, cool looking boss. Otherwise, I guess it's just focus one down, take care of it, try to not let the other one wipe everyone. And then eventually, the end of the dungeon cometh. And that's the Stone Vigil hard. And I think it was pretty mid. It's got some unique designs in it. It's a slight variation, and it does try to do something new with using the cannons against the turtle. However, it was kind of pretty lame. When did it come in? 2.3. It came in 2.3, and you got that. I mean, I'm trying to put it in D tier to not let chat sway me, but realistically, I think it is worse than Cutter's Cry. At this point in the game, if you had been waiting for that patch... Oh, I don't know. Actually, maybe that is a little bit harsh. I'm not sure. I don't know where to put it. I think it's D tier. It's not quite as trash as F. It has some interesting things going for it. It's just the worst, clearly. Oh no, is it worse than Hally Tally? No. Yeah, I think it's worse than, yeah, it's worse than Hally Tally. Okay. So now, after on stream, what seems to be 7 hours and 23 minutes total stream time, I've got the tier list in a position now where I can just do the fine tuning of, do I think everything is where it belongs? Oh, wait, hold on. There's one more thing that I need to take into consideration. Brayflock's hard mode final boss, the Fury. Yep. So we've taken that into consideration. Hally Tally HM or Stone Vigil HM Kraken boss theme. Okay, let's see. Hally Tally Stone Vigil. I don't think... Let's be real. Both of those are F and Kraken is Sestasha hard. I think considering that the location of Sestasha and A and Hally Tally and Stone Vigil and F, this doesn't change a thing for them. Tamtara Deep, hard. Final boss theme. Shit. This does go hard. I remember this. Okay. Does Wanderer's Palace have its own hard then? It does. Okay. Alright. So, this pushes it above Brayflock's for me. Now the question is, Wanderer's Palace, how's that? Nah, it's not that great. Diabolos, Edda, and Ferdinand boss theme. Shit! It goes hard. It goes hard. But I think it goes there. I think that boosts Tamtara up, you know. This isn't to Sestashas. There we go. Yeah, I do recognize this. It keeps it where it is. It's not gonna push it further. Sunken Temple of Khan. Oh, it's this song. I fucking hate this song. I think it stays where it is. I think it might make it worse. I think it makes it worse, but only slightly. No, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Don't be dumb. Fenrir boss theme. Here we go. This is an important one. This works pretty well considering that the Snowcloak theme itself, like the actual music in the dungeon, is very different to this, and it will feel like a big cataclysmic ending. These two are back and forth. Wanderer's Palace boss theme. It's not better than the Brayflock's one. Manaxome Molar Jar Jar boss theme. Oh, this is good. Ooh. Sugar. Oh, I feel really bad about this. But that's better than Brayflox. That's better than Brayflox. Is it better than Tamtara? No. Well, let me let it play. Let me let it play. Oh, it's better than Tamtara. It's better than Tamtara. But Tamtara has such better theming. No, and it's got a cool ending. No, Wanderer's Palace has an even cooler ending. I'm leaving it. That's got to stay where it is before I lose my shit. Middy's theme. Oh, Keeper of the Lake, man. It belongs above. It belongs above. It belongs above. It belongs above. The Keeper of the fucking Lake, mate. The Keeper of the fucking Lake, mate. Surely. Oh god. So what? Tamtara's final boss music is different from the one that you played, though it shares with Diablos. That means that Tamtara has two pieces that I like. And it's better than this. So after some agonizing back and forth and me potentially having a breakdown live on stream, Tamtara is back ahead of the Wanderer's fucking Palace. But the important thing that you must make sure you understand is that the Keeper of the fucking Lake, mate, has its own tier now. I think that's fair enough. I think everyone can be in agreement. It's the Keeper of the fucking Lake, mate. You know? I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, look. When you hear this, and you take everything else into consideration, the Keeper of the fucking Lake, mate, it's its own tier, 100%. It lives in the clouds, above S tier. Okay, so I've gone through now, and I've listened to all of the dungeon boss themes, and just checked to see if any of those would sway the tier list enough, and it has. Tamtara, Wanderer's Palace, and Brayflox have switched around loads and loads and loads. The Keeper of the Lake has its own tier, and now I just need to really think for a second or 10 minutes, either one. Does everything that's here feel right? I think the one thing that I need to be very serious about, I need to remember, I need to play Pharaoh Sirius one last time. Come on now, where are you? Here we go. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay. Let me just play the Lost City of Vanderpool. Where's the Lost City of Vanderpool? Hold on. Yeah. It's... Oh, they belong... They belong together. I think Ferris is above. It's great, but it can't. Shit. No. It's Keeper of the Lake, Lost City of Underport, Pharaoh Sirius. That's fine. I can live with that. I can sleep tonight with that. I believe I can I can reconcile that. Now, for the rest of it, I mean, I've done a lot of emotion and musical like judgment on these in terms of where they belong and stuff. I'm just gonna tweak and see if I can remember anything being absolutely insane in my playthrough, in my journey of an Eorzean lifetime. Keeper of the Lake belongs there, Lost City belongs there, Pharos, Praetorium, Snowcloak, Tamtara Deep hard was spooky, Wanderer's Palace hard was funny at the end. Brayflox's Longstock was an absolute surprising treat. And Castrum, well, it's one of the two huge ARR 2.0 dungeons that they belong. Sestasha Hard, amazing return to form from the very first dungeon that we even play. Hullbreaker Isle is living my pirate dreams. Bukake Manor, say no more. The music is still so sick. Sunken Temple of Khan Hard is a massive improvement over the original. Amdapor Keep, the same. I don't know if Halki Manor belongs there, you know. Yeah. That's about right. That's okay. That's okay. I can live with that. I can live with that. I think the only thing that I can do here to change this up a little bit is actually that Copperbell Mines is the worst in D, and Wanderer's Palace is above Deepcroft. So, the worst dungeons in A Realm Reborn are Halitali Hard, the Stone Vigil Hard, Cutter's Cry, and Desamel Darkhold. Let's be real, Cutter's Cry is the actual fucking worst, let's be honest. P tier, Aurum Vale. Say no more. D tier, the Wanderer's Palace, Tamtara Deepcroft, Amdapor Keep, and the Copperbell Mines. Over in C, we have the Sunken Temple of Khan, the Thousand Moors of Totarak, Halitali, and the Copperbell Mines Hard. In the B tier, we have Amdapor Keep Hard, Brave Fox's Longstop, the Stone Vigil, Sestasha, and Hokake Manor Hard. I actually think that Brave Fox probably actually is better than Amdapor Keep Hard. In the A tier, we have Sestasha Hard, Hullbreaker Isle, Bukake Manor the original, and the Sunken Temple of Khan Hard. And then, for the S tier, from worst to the best now, Castrum, Brave Fox Longstop Hard, Wanderer's Palace Hard, Tamtara Deepcroft Hard, Snowcloak, Praetorian, Pharos Sirius, the Lost City of Amdapor, and in its own tier at the very top of the list, the tier called the Keeper of the Fucking Lake, mate. It is, of course, the Keeper of the Fucking Lake. Absolutely incredible, my friends. It has taken us a very, very long time. 7 hours and 45 minutes on stream, going through, checking them out, reviewing them from VODs, listening to the music, going through the mechanics, checking out the graphics, thinking about the lore. What about the quest that sent us there? How's the music? How about the specific version music? What about the boss fight music? And now, finally, I think I can rest. Fucking Christ. How am I going to explain this to my wife? How was the stream? Yeah, it was good. I didn't really achieve anything.